everyone, welcome back. So today I have the first video of a series I want to start. So I want to start doing A to Z of me. Don't know what I'm calling it, whether it's just going to be like A to Z of Becca Rose. But each time I do one of these videos, I'm going to go through the alphabet. So today's video is of course A. So I'm going to talk about 3 words beginning with A that I want to share a story about, or I want to tell you something that represents me, or maybe something you don't know about me. So these are going to be chatty, they're going to be a bit more personal, and you're going to get to know me. Maybe the word might be like ant, and I tell you a funny story about an ant. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes it's just going to be like, oh, I want to share this with you. So it's just 3 things each time that I want to chat with you about. So today is obviously A, and my topics for today are America, art, and Andy. So America, why do I want to tell you about America? That's Rupert trotting across the floor. Wood floors plus dog. So my family and I go to America every other year more or less, and we have been for quite a while now. Now the first time we went, the actual reason was my granddad actually passed away, my mum's dad, and we used to go to my granddad's house every Christmas without fail. Every Christmas we would have lunch at his. He was the best chef, like it was amazing, and that was our Christmas tradition. He passed around Christmas time and my family kind of thought, what are we going to do? It's not going to be the same. And obviously everyone was heartbroken, and I think my mum and her sister, so my auntie, just kind of decided, they just thought like, let's take everyone that would have been at my granddad's that Christmas, let's just go to Florida, let's just go to Orlando. And we did. We spent that Christmas in Orlando, Florida, and it was amazing, and it was crazy for it to be hot during Christmas. We had our presents over there in America, and it was just absolutely amazing, and I think we all fell in love with Florida there and then ever since we've gone back every other year or so. And it is usually my family of 4 plus my auntie's family with like cousins and all that. But then recently, like, people are busy, people have jobs, you know, all this kind of thing, so it hasn't worked. So the past few times it's just been my family of 4 plus maybe my sister's fiance, dad's sort of playing, and we just absolutely love America. Hello! I personally have never visited any other part of America other than Florida, so let me know where else you think I would enjoy. I just absolutely love America and the people, and everyone's just so lovely that I've come across. I just love Florida. So the summer just gone, so summer 2016, I wasn't going to go because I've got a little bundle of joy called Rupert, and I was terrified of leaving him. We've got like this doggy hotel, doggy daycare, it's absolutely amazing near where I live, but I was still really reluctant to. And then my friend Laura, who obviously has 3 pugs, she was like, I'll look after him. And I think Laura's the only person, bar my mum, dad and sister, that I would trust with him. She knows pugs, she knows Rupert loves it there. So I went for the 2 weeks instead of 3 weeks. My family had already gone out. All right, you want to come up, don't you? My family had already gone out, had flown to America. So Rupert and I went over to Liverpool for that first week so I could like settle him in at Laura's, and then after the week was up, it was my turn to fly out by myself. I took the plane all by myself. A long haul flight was the first time I'd ever flown alone. Other than that, it was with friends or family. I'd never flown alone before, but I was sat with a really nice little family and I was telling them all about America and Disney and all the rides and all that stuff. So it actually went pretty quick, but with it being me, something would go wrong. So as soon as I got to the airport, you may know I've got epilepsy and ME. As soon as I got to the airport, I was like, I do not feel well. And I don't know what happened. We don't know if I tripped or if I like faint or blacked out for like a second or what, but I've got really weak ankles and I fell and, long story short, was put in the airport A&E with a wheelchair. They wheeled me right up to my gate and the rest is history. So I spent the entirety of summer 2016 America holiday in a wheelchair, which I like sitting down, let's be honest, but it was pretty strange, and huge shout out to my dad for wheeling me. But a lot of people asked why I didn't vlog that holiday, and that was one of the reasons, but also my family don't want to be on YouTube, they don't want to be filmed, and that hasn't stopped me in the past. I would have just filmed me, but I wanted to just completely shut off and enjoy my America holiday, because in the past I filmed just for either for YouTube or like for a home family video that we can look back on, but I always felt a lot of pressure and I just kind of wanted to let go and enjoy myself. So yes, America is a huge part of my life. I absolutely adore America, and it's a bit hot. It's a bit hot in Florida, but I absolutely love it, and Michael's is the best, Walmart, Target. I love America. So the next A that represents me is art. I will see if I can put any art pieces that I've done on the screen for you, but I don't know if I actually have any in my house right now. But I've loved art from a very young age. Like, my dad had loads of these sketchbooks because he's super good at like cartoon art, and I remember seeing like different fonts he'd write, and I remember him writing out like the word splodge but in a splodgy way, like bubble font. And I remember being like, wow. And I remember going to the library and picking out how to draw books when I was at primary school, and I was just really into it, and I love being creative, and I think that's just kind of what started it. And then people started to be like, Becca, you're really good. And I thought, oh really? Like, I don't have much confidence in myself with anything, so, but with art, I just felt like I enjoyed it, so it didn't matter, but everyone was so complimentary about it. And then going into high school, I did it at GCSE, and I just absolutely adored it. I found my art style, and I'm very much a realistic drawer, so I like things to look as if it was real. Like, I like it to look like a photograph, or I like it. I did this black and white painting of my sister, and I mean, I did that when I was about 15, so fingers crossed I've improved now, but I really enjoy art. I love doing doodles, like I've been doing my bullet journal, and I love just doing little doodles like that, and I just absolutely love art. But I think my favourite is pencil, and then going over it, maybe pen and ink I like, and then I like painting, and yeah, I just really love art. I love watercolour, and I just love creating. Now I've got a little model. Hey? Got my little art model that I can draw. But yeah, that's a massive part of me, is art. Unfortunately, when I was doing my GCSEs, I had a really difficult time at high school, and I was housebound with various illnesses and anxiety and such. So I did my GCSEs at home, but unfortunately, because of the workload of GCSE art, I had to drop it, and I couldn't finish that qualification, which I was so upset about. And I remember one of my mum's friends, she went to visit, like, she went to see the art exhibition because she knows another student, and then she was like, oh, can you point me out to Becca's? And she was like, Becca wasn't able to finish, and she just burst into tears because she knew how much art meant to me. And yeah, there's nothing better to me than if someone gives me a big blank canvas and a paintbrush and paints. Like, I just absolutely love it. I can be doing painting and drawing for hours on end, and I'll be like, where did the time go? I just really love it. And the final thing I want to talk about is Andy. Now, I didn't know whether to do this one first or last because it is an upsetting subject, but yeah. So, Andy. I actually met Andy in art. He was a year above me at high school. And because I was falling so behind, this was before I had to drop it as a GCSE, I often went in after school to finish the art pieces and artwork. Now, he was also there doing it after school because he was in the final GCSE year and he wanted to do 2 sculptures instead of 1. So he had to finish that, and his was a lot more complex than the rest of his peers. And we just used to like laugh around and joke around, because it was just us two in there, and you know, take the mic and just like, you know, banter and all that. And then we used to chat on Facebook, and that's how we kind of like met. I knew him before because my science teacher was his dad, and he also taught my mum. So we all know each other, we're all friends, and it all just kind of made sense that we just like fit together. So I think that was when I was like 15, so he'd have been 16. And just from then, I mean, like, little dates, and we used to play out, we used to cycle, we had a specific bench that we'd always go and sit on and just chat for hours. We had the same table in KFC, we used to go to KFC, and we just used to hang out and have a lovely time, and, you know, dated. And then there was like a couple years where we chatted, he came to visit, I went to visit, but it was a bit more sparse. And he was off doing his apprentice. I'd started this whole YouTube thing, and he was so very supportive about it. He'd always ask questions. He'd always be like, wow, let me know when this has happened. He'd always be like, did you get there okay? Is everything going good? What are you doing now? He was just so interested and supportive of it. And yeah, so that was really lovely. And then like dates and sleepovers and all this good stuff. And then, so we were like a thing. Everyone knew this, but we never like said we were boyfriend, girlfriend, but we were a thing. And I loved him very much, and he loved me very much. And then I moved about like 40 minutes away, but he'd still come. That was my first house. He'd still come all the time, and it was lovely. And then obviously when I was burgled, my entire family were in Italy, and I was like, I don't know who to call. I called Andy, and he helped, and he was like, right, this is what you've got to do. You've got to come and do this. You've got to do this. And I was so appreciative of it, and he was like, right, you can use my van, we can do this, we can sort it. This is what you've got to do now. He just kind of made everything rational, and he kind of calmed me and put things in place. Fast forward even more. Obviously I moved back to my home, but like in my own house here, and more loveliness, more happiness. And he actually worked just down the road, so often at lunch times I'd bring him lunch, or he'd come and have lunch here. We'd just like spend time together. And then when it was my 21st birthday, he actually came around the day before I turned 21, and we watched movies. Oh my goodness, the movies we would watch together, hilarious. Some days it was my turn to pick, then it was his. So I'd pick like funny girly films, but he'd pick rubbish, like No Country for Old Men. Like, what was that about? But we both loved white chicks, so we'd always like watch white chicks. Anyway, on the day before my birthday, we watched films, and then we went and got milkshakes. I had chocolate and he had banana, and we sat here and had milkshakes. Then we were talking about going to see the Northern Lights. You know how you do, you kind of just like make these plans, and yeah. So that was the day before my birthday, and we discussed like, oh, I really want to go out for breakfast on my birthday, I really want pancakes. And he was like, right, well, go and do that. So he left, and then it was my birthday, and I went out for pancakes, and he messaged, he was like, I hope you got those pancakes. And I was like, I did. And that was that. And then the next day, the 29th, myself and my friend Jodie, we went to Disneyland Paris, because I often spend my birthday at Disneyland. It was my 21st, you know. So we got there, we had the first day, and then on the evening of the 29th, or the early hours of the 30th of January, the thing with Andy is he's always helping people. Like his thing is cars and motorbike and fixing and designing and all that kind of thing. So on the 29th, that evening, he was at someone's house like fixing up something. And on his way home, like there was no other cars there, so he was just, you know, driving on. There was a corner, and he was in a crash, and he died instantly. It's good because obviously he didn't feel any pain, and There was no speeding, there was no foul play, there was no texting, there was no incoming call, there was nothing. It was just wrong place, wrong time, car accident. And I remember my first reaction to it. I was in my hotel room at Disney. I remember the first thing I did was I WhatsApped him. Like, I think I sent him 3 love hearts, sent that, and I said, what's going on? Like, expecting a reply. And of course he wasn't going to reply because he'd gone, and it was just weird. And because I was away, it hadn't really settled, and it was really strange. And then when we got back, I didn't know like how to be. I was just like, what? Because I just wanted to keep messaging him and being like, what, where are, like, I don't know. I guess I didn't think it was real, or I was expecting him to reply. Like, I don't know what was going on through my head, but it was just done. It was just over. And yeah, everyone always says we were like Ross and Rachel, like he'd always be there and I'd always be here. It was just done. But that's Andy. That's Andy, and it's I'll never hear his motorbike pulling in again. And Rupert loved him, and he loved Rupert. And the last photo I've got of Andy is it's a stupid picture. Like, he was just holding Rupert like Lion King, putting his tongue out, because Rupert obviously has his tongue out a lot. That was my last picture, and it's just awful. It's absolutely shit. And I mean, everyone blooming loves him. He had so many people around him, and the funeral was so humbling because there were so many people there. And you know, when, I don't even want to talk about the funeral, but they had a video playing, and then suddenly there was a video clip with his voice, and that's when it just all came out. And it was just, yeah, that's Andy, and I love him loads. And he's probably being like, Becca, why are you talking about this on your channel? But yeah, little joker. That's Andy. I hope that hasn't ended on like a really horrible note. But yes, those are 3 words beginning with A that represent me or are significant to me, or a little story I wanted to tell you. Oh, I feel really like deflated now because I've just, oh. Let me know if you like the A to Z idea. Leave me some words down below, some A words that represent you. No like arsehole or anything, but like some A words that mean something to you and why. I'd love to hear your stories or little anecdotes and things. Give me a big fat thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!